Israel's former spy master has called for his country to explore whether a rapprochement with Iran is possible, following a dramatic breakthrough in relations between Tehran and Riyadh last week. Describing the details as very startling, Ephraim Halevi, the former director of Israel's Mossad spy agency, urged Israeli leaders not to prejudge the deal, but to find ways of working with the new developments. Israel should understand what it is that brought the Iranians to their rapprochement with Saudi Arabia. Halevi went on to ask whether the time has come for Israel also to seek a different policy towards Iran. Israel should explore in a concealed manner the possibility of rapprochement between Israel and Iran, said Halevi. The carpet has been pulled from under the right-wing government that was making aggressive moves of carrying out a strike on Iran. But within days, the political circumstances have completely changed. Saudi Arabia's decision to refuse to provide any further bailouts to Pakistan has left the government in Islamabad in shock and has prompted the finance minister to complain that even friendly countries aren't keen on helping Pakistan out of its economic emergency. Pakistan is in dire need of sustained US dollar inflows to avoid defaulting on nearly $80 billion of international loan repayments over the next 3.5 years. The country is currently sitting on just $3 billion in foreign exchange reserves. While previously Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries would bail Pakistan out off the back of a phone call from the foreign minister or the prime minister, this time around they're really being put through the mill. It is believed that on a recent trip, even the Pakistani military chief couldn't convince Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to release emergency funding for the country. The Pakistani military chiefs have previously been a source of assurance to friendly countries, but the Saudis have now had enough of Pakistan's civilian authorities squandering away these handouts. The International Criminal Court (ICC) has issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin over alleged war crimes in Ukraine, a move dismissed by Moscow as meaningless. The Hague-based court said in a statement that the warrant was issued over Putin's suspected involvement in the unlawful deportation and transfer of children from occupied areas of Ukraine to Russia. The statement said, "There are reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Putin bears individual criminal responsibility for the child abductions for having committed the acts directly, jointly with others and/or through others, and for his failure to exercise control properly over civilian and military subordinates who committed the acts." The ICC, which has no powers to enforce its own warrants, also issued a warrant for the arrest of Maria Alexeyevna Lvova-Belova, the Commissioner for Children's Rights in the office of the Russian president, on similar allegations. This ruling now places pressure on all 123 states who are members of the ICC, who will now have to take a position in the conflict and can no longer remain neutral. The ICC has jurisdiction over crimes committed in the territory of all its members. This ruling now is another addition to the economic and political war against Russia by the US. US regulators closed down California-based Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, which specialized in lending to technology companies. It is now the largest American bank failure since 2008. US officials have given assurances that SVB's depositors will be repaid in full to ensure things didn't get worse. Silicon Valley Bank had purchased billions of dollars in bonds in recent years using customer deposits. However, the value of the bonds plummeted as the Federal Reserve aggressively increased interest rates. As a result, SVB's customers began withdrawing their deposits. As the withdrawal increased in size, the more the bank needed to sell its own assets to meet the requests of its customers. As rumors spread about the bank needing to sell assets, businesses and wealthy tech workers became concerned about the potential for a bank failure. As they rushed to cash out, this led to a run on the bank. Regulators seized the bank to protect its remaining assets and deposits. What remains to be seen if the contagion spreads across the world.